Welcome back to our coverage of SEMA 2016. We are posted up in front of Central Hall with AccuAir's Truck Corral. We came across these two Slam Chevy trucks. We're going to get Jake over here from Phat Phabz. Jake, what's up? You made it, man, all the way from Oklahoma.
Indeed, we're here.
Cool. You brought two this year. Now, this isn't your first rodeo. You've been to SEMA a couple times. How is it so far?
So far, it's pretty good. I mean, the 18-hour drive from Oklahoma City wasn't real fun, but we made it.
Nice. The trucks look good, and I know you guys are kind of killing it out there. Tell us a little bit about the shop and what Phat Phabz does.
Phat Phabz, I mean, we've been in business since 1999. We kind of pride ourselves on, this is, I think, the 8th or 9th year we've been trying to bring the newest and latest stuff to SEMA. This year we brought a brand new 2015 Escalade, body drop, put on the ground.
Yeah, this thing looks incredible. Now, you know, this thing's super clean, and I don't think a lot of people know what goes into this thing. Now, it's got seats in the back. It looks super drivable. What does it take to get something like that down that low?
You know, immediately the first thing you do is take all your measurements, and then, you know, you rip the body off of it and strip it down to a bare frame. You build basically a brand new frame for the truck. You cut into all the sheet metal and everything else. Into the doors, door panels, you've got to cut for wheel and tire clearances, but lowering the motor, pulling the motor out and dropping all that stuff. So it's quite a bit of work to put one of those on the ground and retain a truck that drives without any lights on the dash. I mean, it takes quite a bit to be able to do that, but it seems to be more and more common for us these days.
Just works. So now, as a daily driver, how do you find the E-Level works with, you know, like getting the wife in there and going for groceries? Like, does it lend itself pretty good for that?
Oh, yeah. I mean, being able to get into it and just pushing a button and going wherever you need to go, that's exactly what you need in a daily driver like this. We got lucky enough to hook up with AccuAir to run the newest ENDO-VT tank on it, and having everything contained into one air tank with the valves and everything, and it works out great. Saves a whole lot of space, especially with an SUV when you're fighting for space. So it just works out great.
That's cool. So this one's kind of a little bit more of a driver. You brought another truck over here with twin turbo motors in it. Let's go over there and talk about that.
Indeed.
So this one looks a little more intense. Now, the customer obviously wanted some big power. I noticed some Nelson mirror image twin turbos under there. What's going on under the hood?
That is an LSX 376 B15 motor, holds 15 pounds of boost. The Nelson twin turbos, he had to have it symmetrical. He wanted the mirror image. He wanted the look under the hood. And just from there, you know, polishing everything and making everything look as good as it's going to perform.
Man, it looks full-on show car. And what's it putting down?
We haven't had it dynoed yet, but we're hoping that it runs somewhere around 1,150 horsepower.
To the wheels?
To the wheels.
That's insane, man. For a grocery getter?
Grocery getter.
So now this thing's running some big hoops, too. Tell us a little bit about the chassis and the air suspension.
We built a bumper-to-bumper frame for it. We ran the 28x10 and 28x12 intro wheels. The big Pirelli tire in the rear, we couldn't put that little small tire in the rear, especially having this much power. That ended up throwing us into a 37-inch tall tire, and to put that on an SUV that lays body is just absolutely insane. We haven't done anything like that yet, and that was quite the chore to make that happen.
So building full frames, is that the answer?
I think so. I mean, it's so much easier once you start building the full frames. You can just dumb everything down. It's a little bit more work making motor mounts and making bumper mounts and everything else, but once you get past that, it probably actually saves us time.
Tell me a little bit about the interior. It looks super clean. Is that something that's done by a local shop, or is that in-house?
No, that is done by Brent Davison at Sculpt Garage down in San Marcos, Texas. He's had some of the interior for the earlier this year that we took to him, and just recently put everything together here at the last minute. We actually got door panels overnighted last night that I installed this morning at 7:30. So everything's the SEMA crunch, the normal. But
well, you did it, man. You pulled it off. Great job on these two trucks. Thanks for spending the time with us. All right, cruising down the line here, we come across this aired-out dually diesel truck that Little Shop brought. We're going to get Eric in here to tell us a little bit about it. And Eric, come on in, man.
Hey, man.
Good to see you.
You too. How's it going?
Good. Last year you brought the bare metal truck, and this year you brought a big, gigantic truck. Tell us a little bit about it.
A little different than what we built in the past. This one we actually designed completely in software. Laser cut, press brake formed. Actually, no part of the chassis whatsoever is not software built. So that's a new thing for us. Pretty excited about building in that way versus the past, how we've done it. evolution.
Talk about evolution. I mean, you guys were building, mini truck parts, and now you guys on Instagram, everyone can see the rapid prototype pieces and the chassis you're building now. Tell us a little bit about where Little Shop's going and what you see in the future.
Sure, there's definitely an evolution to it. You start with smaller parts, smaller trucks, and you kind of work your way up to bigger trucks and full chassis and bumper-to-bumper type work. And like you said, we're doing 3D printing on some parts now and utilizing some of the technology that's out there. So we're excited. We're excited about where it's going. I don't know if we'll be selling full-blown chassis like this to everybody, but it's something we're considering. And now that we have that technology on our side, it makes it viable.
Well, the under the hood looks almost OEM, and I guess one of the sad parts is that a lot of the beauty of this truck is underneath, which you can't see. But I guess with social media now, a lot of people kind of know what went into it. Are you happy with it? Did it turn out everything you wanted it to be?
Certainly, we're tickled with it, man. It's the beginning of a phase of usability for this truck. And that's the big thing for us is we don't want just something that's pretty here or 1 week at SEMA. We want something somebody can use and especially with having AccuAir, that does help that factor. It's just as good at working as it is good looking. We just wish we could turn it over right now so everybody could see what's underneath. You have to get on Instagram for that.
Well, you've had a good relationship with AccuAir through the years. How do you find the new ENDO-VT tank?
Oh man, I love it. I love the idea, the design, the fact that it's all internal. For a builder especially, we're not having to package where all this stuff will go. It's already there. I think that's an evolution for them that we're happy to be a part of and start using as a shop.
Well, it's got to be probably important on a truck like this, especially a diesel with so many things going on underneath the hood and everything else.
It's definitely 20 pounds of crap, 10-pound box, so having tanks that keep that inside, that's helpful.
Awesome, man. Well, thanks for spending some time and telling us about the truck. We'll get Aaron in here. Tell us a little bit about how it started. So, Aaron, what's going on?
What's going on, sir? How you doing?
Good. Tell us a little bit about the truck and what inspired you to build it.
Man, I've always wanted a really, really big truck, and I've always been in the mini trucking scene, and just saved up for a while, and I knew if I was going to send it to any shop, it was always a dream to go to the Little Shop, just because they don't miss any detail, and their integration of everything that they do, and everything's always thought 10 steps ahead instead of, we got to add this, everything is so well thought out and planned. It was just a no-brainer for me.
So if the factory would have done it, this is how they would have done it.
Absolutely, man. It's neat that everything that was on its stock, every single amenity, every single piece is still there, and it's still completely stock usable. No Christmas tree lights on the dash. It's still basically a stock truck with a chassis built completely in CAD by this guy right here.
Yeah, well, my personal style, nice and clean, no frills, no crazy stuff on it. And what I really dig is it's got a trailer hitch and it's got some sidewall on that tire. Do you plan on using this thing?
Oh yeah, that was the main plan whenever we first talked, just kind of jokingly about doing it, is there's so many dualies out there that are gorgeous and a lot of them tow, but I have a lot of boats that I work with and we have to tow every day. And I needed something that could tow 25,000 pounds regularly. And he said, man, we can do it. We can do it. We can design a frame that can not only gooseneck tow, but can still tag along tow and still be able to stop, perform just like it did from the factory. And that was something that I needed. And that was the choice in the wheel size. Instead of going into monster wheels, we wanted to do something that we could put a bigger tire on, because you can go bigger load rated tires. You can actually drive the thing, as opposed to just can't go down that road, can't do this. It's something that can be driven every single day, anywhere we need to go.
Wow, and let's face it, it's still not a small wheel. That's a big ass wheel, right? So yeah, when you get a guy with a plan and a guy that can pull it off, you end up with something that's outstanding. So, dude, thanks for taking the time. Thanks, Eric.